the stock market is moving crazy right now. And honestly, with these movements, you can make a lot of money off these stocks that I got for you guys. And honestly, there's a little bit of risk, but honestly, high reward behind them. First one on the list, one of my favorite swing trades and honestly day trade stocks to watch is ATAI. And today we moved a decent amount. I told you guys that you guys can load in at that 3.6 level and even get some time to maybe even load up a little bit lower later on. With that all being said, we did come back to this range. We didn't beat the earnings and we started falling down soon after that. But now we're back up near the highs. And honestly, we could probably even see the stock at 4.5. We could break past that 4.5. We could see even bigger movements. We got price targets all the way up to $12, $14, $20, $25. It is kind of insane. And if you can hit that $25 target, you're making a decent amount of money off this one. And this one, you can start with as little as $1 and even go up a little bit higher if you guys have some more money to spend. With that being said, I personally do recommend starting a long term, maybe putting like 10% of your check away every single month. And or if you can't even do that, you could do $50, $10, $1 on a stock, and it's going to make a big difference. And it's going to build consistency because consistency is key overall. And ATI is one stock that I've loaded up, and my average is all the way down to that 2.6 level. So I'm very confident in this one. I'm going to be holding this one for the long term overall, and this one can make me a decent amount of money. But for my long term, if I do want a dollar cost average into this one or buy some more, I'm going to be watching at 3.6 level once again because we had a big bounce off of that. And then even if we get a little bit lower, even down to that $3 level, I'm just going to dollar cost average into it. But ATI is a good one to watch. We have videos independently just dedicated just for ATAI, and I make shorts all the time on this one, so I had to shout this one out today. Next one is going to be CoreWeave. CoreWeave is falling down below a decent amount and still falling, so this one is one that you should wait, have your patience on, especially for September, since September is pretty red overall in the past with seasonality. But why is this one good? We're still up 100% from when they first dropped, and we have Nvidia, one of the biggest stocks right now and companies, betting big on this one with over $4 billion invested into them. But CoreWeave, CRWV, is a cloud computing company specializing in high performance computing, particularly running out Nvidia's GPUs. It serves customers in AI, machine learning, and visual effects with its purpose-built infrastructure. The company's business model relies on long-term contracts and is notable for its close partnership with Nvidia and a key customer relationship, such as Microsoft. While it has been rapid revenue growth, it also carries significant debt from building its data center. So it does have a lot of debt and it does spend a lot of money, but honestly, that isn't too bad. But right now we are making a big sell. So honestly, if you can find a bottom with this one can be a great one to watch. And watch if it can break below that $93 level. If we can break below that, we might even go down even more. This would be a good put option if you guys think it is going to go down. I'm not saying play put options, but this is one that I'm personally watching. I'm not going to invest into it right now, but even at that $99 level, you can just dollar cost average if it does start falling, because we do have potential of it hitting that 150, 200, 300, depending on how their company goes. But this does show a lot of upside risk. And honestly, with Nvidia betting big on it and them still betting big on it, CoreWeave is one to watch. First link in the description below, I have a bunch of courses to help you guys become more profitable. With that code down below, you guys can get 50% off, and the courses are already relatively cheap. I can promise you, you'll make your money back within the first day of using all the knowledge that you guys learned. Next one, of course, is Apple. This is one of my favorite day trade stocks, Apple and Nvidia. But with that being said, man, this is one of my biggest holdings. If you guys watch the videos of my long term and how to build a long term, it's literally just to help you guys on how to build a long term overall. But with that being said, this is one of my biggest holdings. And honestly, my average cost is $200. So honestly, this 231 is looking pretty good right now for our long term. But with that all being said, man, I think we do still need some more good news with AI in general. They are still falling behind with the AI race overall with companies and stuff like that. But if things hit the fan and we see that AI isn't really as good as it may seem, and or companies are just investing too much money, Apple might benefit off this overall because they are kind of waiting to get into the AI race and waiting to put a lot of money into it. And they're just in the wait and see approach, kind of like the Fed. But with that being said, man, Apple is still pretty good. And this is one to watch, especially for your long term, because honestly, we're still down a pretty decent amount. I think the highs are like 260, 250. So we still got some room to move. But honestly, man, with the way that this stock has been moving in the past couple of days, we could potentially see it at that 240 to that 250 level very, very soon. And this is one that you can dollar cost average into and or even play option plays. If you guys are more interested in options, I make daily videos giving you guys supports and resistance and some plays. So feel free to check that out if you guys want daily, right before the market opens, and sometimes the night before. Next one, of course, I did mention NVIDIA being one of my favorite day trade stocks. NVIDIA is that stock that you're going to see sneak up to that 200 to that $250 level by the year end. With that being said, there are a lot of good price targets with this one. It actually just got raised today. We've seen some bullish momentum with that. A little bit of a fall, but it kind of held up pretty strong compared to the overall market today. So honestly, man, NVIDIA is a decent one to watch. We did make another break back up to the upside, sold off a little bit more. But with that being said, for the long term, man, I do recommend waiting maybe for that 180 to that 179 level to load up on some shares. But with that being said, I think my average is like $90 on this one. And honestly, NVIDIA is one that you don't want to miss out on. Literally, AI is the number one thing right now. And who provides it? NVIDIA. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about BBAI. Before we get into this one, though, I'm not too confident in this one, and I'm not putting any money into it as of right now. But if we get below that $5 level and we hold up pretty strong like we did here, I might load up on some for my long term. This one is one that I'm personally being patient on, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, keep it straight up 100. I'm just being patient with this one in general because it does have some downside risk, and you could probably see it back down to like that $3.50 to that $4 level. So $5 wouldn't really be too bad if you don't put too much money into it. But I'm going to be watching a $5 buy for this one. They recently didn't beat their earnings, kind of like ATAI, but ATI is kind of back up to its level. But if we can see BBAI coming back up, man, this one can be a $7, $8, $10 stock in no time. And honestly, it has a lot of hype behind it, and it has a lot of government contracts and is getting to the civilian world. Literally another Palantir, and honestly, this one can be the next Palantir, so I'm just here to warn you guys about that. But with that being said, man, that's the stocks that I'm watching. Please comment down below any stocks that you guys are watching. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.